Sintashta Metallurgists on scale. The Sintashta were clear specialist metallurgists on a kind of industrial scale, with buildings that look like factories from the Industrial Revolution, and fortresses at the same time. The Ural Mountains were the limit to the east of the Yamnaya culture and of the to them related Pontic-Caspian Steppe, where Yamnaya were supposed to be pastoralists. The Botai are also supposed to be pastoralists, but were a bit more to the southeast, Kazakhstan. Nevertheless, they seem to have a kind of sophisticated blast furnaces in their compounds. Compared to the Sintashta, that makes them look like a smaller scale or more dispersed metallurgic industry. In fact, all of them could be more like metallurgists than pastoralists, and metallurgy could have been more key to their culture than pastoralism was, leading up to more important trade and warfare, including fast chariots, and the breeding of mainly domesticated horses, dedicatedly trained to propel the fastest war chariots, because these would significantly add to the metallurgy component of their economies. Sintastha and more or less Yamnaya were well equipped with warfare. Later Greek and Roman style, often depicted with advanced fast chariots. Sometimes associated with Aryans. They all mainly bred horses, but also other domesticated animals. After all, they would need things to transport and to eat. We of origin for existence claim they had undergone hybridizations already in their roots and cradles in North America to digest milk, where this kind of symbiosis already existed. Out of the Americas. We of origin for existence claim that these cultures, milk-digesting gene, horses, and metallurgy all came with ships and fleets, Viking-like, with long ships carrying small numbers of horses, directly from their roots and cradles. Carrying Y-DNA haplogroup R1, in the Americas, this around the onset of the Bronze Age 5300 to 4000 BP. Ural and Ice Ages. The Ural Mountains had been largely covered with ice or glacier during the Ice Ages. So they had their resources more protected and preserved, because they had stayed free of all former mining, where we claim that early on, starting over hundreds of thousands of years ago, Neanderthals, next to Denisovans, were deployed to mine. This after they had been carried on ships and fleets from their North American cradles to their specific Neanderthal ranges, in the case of Eurasia more or less west of the Altai Mountains in Central Asia. Earlier the Denisovans were deployed to mine more or less east from the Altai Mountains, this after they had been carried on ships and fleets from their South American or Austronesian expansion cradles to their specific Denisovan ranges, in the case of Eurasia more or less as at of the Altai Mountains in Central Asia. With all their mines and ranges accessible from the facades through rivers. Later on Cro-Magnon became active, next to handling Megafauna also in mining, after traveling or being carried on ships and fleets to their specific rivers and ranges. With all their mines and ranges accessible from the facades through rivers. Destructive population turnover events. Cro-Magnon and their likes would be active until the younger Dryas, until when drastic and destructive population turnover events would start out, as all others before, also departing from the cradles in the Americas, this time with humans specialized in mining, and destructive practices that lead to forest destruction and later agriculture. The forest destruction roughly in all of the younger Dryas boundary would lead to a warming peak, that would destabilize glacier across the northern hemisphere, that would interrupt the AMOC for at least 1,000 years, which would lead up to the younger Dryas onset. The deforestation, destructions, mining, and the following ice age would free a large portion of landmass from vegetation and leave it more prone to erosion. It was in this landscape and climate that for the younger Dryas typical Dryas plant would flourish.